Hey everyone, this is Mr. T, and today we're going to be assembling our shark model. So the first piece that you're going to want is the one with the dorsal fin. You'll see it right here by looking at your card. Let's go ahead and pop that out now. Once you have that piece, it'll look like this one right here. You'll notice that there is this little centerpiece in the side of the body. Go ahead and pop that out, and it'll look like that right there. Now all of our pieces are going to attach to this piece, so this is the very first one that you want. The second piece is kind of this strange looking piece, which actually has 4 notches in it. Make sure that you remove all these little bits. Now the 2 notches that you see will actually face towards the top. All the other pieces will lock into place. And when we take these 2 pieces with this one facing up, we're going to insert it into that hole on the first piece that we saw. It will line up right in the middle, just like that. Now looking back at our body, we want the next 2 biggest pieces. These next 2 pieces will not have a dorsal fin on them, so go ahead and pop out the next 2 big pieces. You can see the shark's head as well as the mouth on these. And again, for those side holes that you see right there, go ahead and pop those 2 out, as well as remove if there's a small bit in the back. So go ahead and pop those 2 out right there. And one is going to go on the left side of the shark, and one is going to go onto the right. You can do either one, they're exactly the same. So go ahead and put those 2 pieces on, and make sure that that second piece is centered right down the middle, just like that. So on our next 2 pieces, we want the ones that are even smaller. They actually have the shark's head as well as the eye. Go ahead and pop those 2 out. And the side, you'll see it just like that. If you want to remove the shark's eye, that's fine. You can make it a little bit easier. If you can't stick your finger into that small hole, you can use a pencil or a pen in order to pop those 2 out. And again, you're going to take these 2 pieces, put one on the left side and one on the right side. And the eyes want to face towards the front. The mouth of your shark should actually line up all together, and your piece will look like this. Now our shark's starting to really come together, and you can kind of see the shape that it's starting to make. We're going to look for the next 2 smaller pieces. They look like kind of like a teardrop that has a little notch in the side. Go ahead and pop those 2 out. Now these 2 pieces, if we look at our second piece, since we have those notches facing upwards, those are actually going to slide down into this slot area. That way they can lock into place just like that. So go ahead and put those into place. Make sure they slot down into that little groove, and that'll actually hold that into place. I did include some glue with this. For the most part, the way that the cardboard is shaped, it will hold together pretty well without glue, but I did include some glue in with your kits. That way you can really get them to firmly stick together and they're not falling apart. Now the last 2 pieces are going to be the fins, and these 2 pieces are kind of triangular shaped. They look like this right here. Go ahead and pop those 2 out. These 2 triangular pieces are actually going to go into these 2 slots on the sides, one right here and one right there. The back edge of the fins will face towards the back of the shark. Now these pieces you will need to glue into place. Unfortunately, I don't have glue with me right now, but if they're slotted in all the way, they will or should stay into place. But if you do have some glue, go ahead and make sure that, again, the fins are facing towards the back of the shark. That way it stays together. For the time being, especially if you applied glue, if you lay your shark partially upside down, it will kind of hold together in place. We are going to assemble our stand now using the remaining pieces that we have. The two pieces that you want are going to be this extremely large piece right here. It almost looks like a whale tail. This piece right here. Make sure you remove those tiny little bits in the upper portion here, and if there's anything down here. And then the other piece also looks like a smaller tail, or a small little boomerang. Now these two pieces are going to make your stand. Go ahead and slide that little slot right here into this bottom piece right here. What this is going to do is it's actually going to create a tripod or stand. That way your stand can actually stand up on its own like this. We're going to actually build the upper section that allows our shark to lay across the top using these 3 small pieces. And all 3 of these pieces should look pretty identical. They look like kind of like these small little antler pieces. So go ahead and pop all 3 of those out. Make sure you really take your time. They can be a little bit tricky. They are small. And once you have these 3 pieces, this little notch right here is going to go into each one of these notches. And the way that this is going to work is you're going to lay one direction, kind of like that. You're going to lay the opposite direction, and then you'll lay the third in the original first direction. Let me hold that up a little bit closer to the camera so you can see. So the first one is facing left, the second one is facing right, and the third one is facing left. And the reason why I designed it this way is that way your shark should be able to lay across the top of this and be pretty well balanced, just like that. Again, my fin fell off there, but it's still being pretty well balanced. Now this last piece that looks in the shape of a Y, this last piece that's in the shape of a Y, this is an optional piece. The way that this is supposed to work is you take this piece and it goes into the back of the shark. It's supposed to give it a little bit more balance, but it's actually not necessary. But it should work even without it, to where your shark should balance on the stand just how you see here. Hopefully you got your shark all assembled so you can give yourself a pat on the back. And now let's actually do some of the reading together. I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.